Alright, quick video update on this thing. Got the exhaust squared away under the truck yesterday. Got that ugly section cut out and got it redone. Looks a lot better. Did some pie cut sections and to make the radius and bend and all. It turned out pretty good. The only problem I had was with the new this doesn't work well for pipe. You can see how the blades kind of bent, and it's a great idea. It worked well when you got a good blade, but after the blade, I don't know what I did, but it doesn't do well on pipe. And then this gate right here got all bent and mangling. I've had to straighten it a few times, so I think I'm just gonna get like one of these blades, these Hercules blades. I got one for metal, that's for aluminum, for when I do intercooler pipe. And you can see how much of that I've done. So I've got to get my injectors off the rec port intake here. These are just 80-pound Decas. Would not buy them again, but that's what I got, and that's what the truck's tuned on. So what I'm going to do is take these injectors out, get some aftermarket fuel rails that fit the bread box intake, and fix my fuel system, because like I was talking about yesterday, the fuel comes into here and then it just pressurizes this side, and then you got to cross over here and then pressurize this side. It's not good for what we're trying to do with these boosted setups. So what I'm going to do is put an aftermarket rail here, try to do a crossover here, and then deadhead it to here. No, actually I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a fitting here and then run it to my return and then back. So I'll feed number 7 first, because that's the most problematic cylinder, so I'll feed it here. Now one thing is, I know with the aftermarket rails, I think sometimes it puts this end too close to the alternator, so hopefully I can figure that out. But I haven't been to Summit yet, but anyway, that's next. So there's the bread box well, I don't know, what do you call the L92 intake for rec port, whatever that is. So we got the 243's on. So these are the ones that I lapped the valves, did some bowl work in them, cleaned up the rough edges and opened them up a little bit. And then I also unshrouded the valves some, and it's got the right springs and all. So anyway, got those back on, got it back together, and I don't have the downpipe or the crossover in. Somebody asked about the dryer. That's for a 08 Trailblazer SS. It has a little hose that allows you to move it over out of the way to give more room for the downpipe, and it works pretty good. It's a T4 log from Amazon. This is the VS Racing S480 T4 8375 or something they call it, I believe. And then I made this box because there wasn't enough room. There probably is enough room with this for an elbow, but when I had the faller log on there, the turbo was so far forward that you can see where I had to put a spacer to make it work and fit back where it was. So probably a radius elbow would work here. I've done that a few times, but for this one I got the box and I made it, and I'm going to use it. So what's on there, the ICT adapter to the 3-bolt, and then this one has the Duramax intercooler on it, and the piping comes up there somewhere and then turns over and comes in here. Somebody asked about the battery. Yes, this was temporary until it became permanent, and it's pretty solid in there. Haven't had an issue with it moving or anything. So moving it to here clears up for the path for the intercooler piping, and that's where it stayed, and then it works fine. So your results may vary. Yes, I do have a coolant tank. I hate the coolant tank. I wish I could figure out a better way to do it. I don't have it. It's not fully bolted down right now, but yes, I do have one of those. I've seen where people get rid of it and put a fill neck in the top radiator hose. Good for them. Let's see what else. That's pretty much it. I'm sure, it'll have to be retuned now that it's got the 243's on it. So this should be about 10.9 compression, I believe. So if you recall, this was basically the engine that was in the white truck. So the white 2500 HD that was four-wheel drive, it had a flat top 6.0, 243's, bread box intake, flex injectors, long tube headers, and it had the Summit high torque cam, which the Summit high torque cam is very similar to this BTR stage 2 truck cam. That's why I took the JFR cam out and put that one in there, was because this one had less duration, which helped the truck a lot. So just a quick recap. I've changed turbo 3 times on this truck. I've changed the camshafts twice, now the cylinder heads once, all in an effort of trying to get the horsepower and torque low enough to where it's usable for the truck and a big truck. So when you've got a crew cab 2500, you don't need all the power up top. So, when I built this truck, I went into it coming from cars and doing, 3,000, 3,500 pound cars, and, making a lot, more power than this, but, and the rec port part didn't really dawn on me until, I was like, man, why does that white truck run so good? And why both white trucks, the white 1500 and the white 2500 HD, why did they run so good, for the big heavy truck? Well, and I was like, man, I've got 823 heads on this truck. They flow a lot at higher RPM. So again, I'm a little slow, but I think this was certainly the right move. And now it should have my power and torque down low enough where I think this is really going to help this truck out. So before it was about 10.5 to 1 compression, and now we're about 11 to 1. So I'll probably turn the boost down. Well, I think I'll leave the boost up, and then we'll just take the timing out. Leave the boost whatever it's at, and then pull timing out to where it doesn't spark knock. But that 4.8 we did with that low duration high torque cam, it's very impressive. Really changed how the truck ran and drove. And it's just, the trucks are opposite from a car. So if you've got a lightweight car, don't use any of this information. This is all for trucks, crew cab trucks, big heavy trucks that you're trying to get up and moving, and you need the power and torque down low. And again, it's, you tell people that. I had one guy was asking about this exact scenario. It's like, oh, I got a rec port, whatever motor, for this truck. And I'm like, if it's a crew cab truck, you need to go cathedral. Rec ports really don't have a place on trucks, big heavy trucks. So you want the power and torque low. So you want low duration, you want a cathedral port head, and you want a T4 turbo. So Michael actually had one on the dyno yesterday. He was keeping me up to date on it. It was about a 440 cubic inch motor with a T6 88 millimeter on it, and that thing made stupid power and torque. It made over 800 foot or 800 horsepower. I don't remember how much torque. The torque was, one of them, the torque was higher than the power, but then I think the end result, the torque was it was close, but I mean that thing was a monster for 2-wheel drive, and I believe it was a 1500 truck. So that thing's gonna ride. They've got my aluminum 6.0, and his dad was telling me they're gonna have to bore it. So probably what I'm gonna do with that. I don't have a crankshaft. I really don't have anything else laying around. I've exhausted my laying around supply. So I haven't done a stroker on one of these. When I was a teenager and all in the Mustangs, I had a few stroke Windsors, and had a 408, a 418, and stuff like that. So maybe since I don't have anything laying around, I'll buy a stroker kit and go whatever cubic inch, 400 something cubic inch with it. And then that's probably what's going to go in my Papa's truck, the 62 C10. So I've got a 80 being built for it, and then I've got that aluminum motor. Of course, I got aluminum 6.2 over there too, so I might just sell it and use it to pay for the stroker. So, but I think that'd be pretty neat in that thing. If you got rec ports and you got the cubic inches, then again, this is not relevant. So this is all relative to 6.0 and down stuff, 6.2 and down stuff, because I think with a 440 cubic inch motor, I think you would have enough there to make down low power and torque. So I know there was another guy that was asking about, a 408, and I mean, this is all I have experience with, and I try to speak from experience, not hearsay. So this is all stuff that I've learned messing with these trucks, and like I say, I'm a slow learner, so I've changed a bunch of stuff on this thing to get it here. And I think these 243's on this thing's really going to run good. So hopefully we can keep enough timing out of it not to blow it up too soon. But I'm going to ship off the yank converter tomorrow, and then try to get in touch with my buddy and see when I can take him that 80 out of this truck and have him go through it and just check everything out, make sure it's still good and whatnot. So but anyway, that's the update on this thing for now. The YWS, he said he's got a Gen 453 he's supposed to be bringing me, and then that's what we're going to end up going back with in there. So I got a couple other things on the way, but just want to give an update on this thing for now.